22 seconds. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse leaned into his microphone. He looked at Pam Bondi, and she recorded the question that everyone in Washington is afraid to ask. Did the FBI find photos of Trump with half-naked young women in Jeffrey Epstein's safe or property? Bondi did not say no. Keep this sentence in mind, because the entire story revolves around those three letters. October 7th, 2025, Senate Judiciary Committee, Washington, D.C. Later in the morning, long curved table, senators sitting high above, witnesses below. Pam Bondi is at the center, with her legal team behind her, cameras from every angle, and journalists in the press gallery. Bondi had been the Attorney General for 8 months and was now relaxed. You could tell by the way he sat. Prepared talking points, counterattacks, evasion reflexes. He knew how trials worked. The first 2 hours went exactly to script. Democrats asked questions, Bondi attacked, defending the Comey case, throwing out a joke about the National Guard deployments in Chicago, and answering every sensitive question with an attack and changing the subject. But Sheldon Whitehouse was no one to waste time. Who is Whitehouse? Former Attorney General of Rhode Island, former federal prosecutor, someone who has watched for years in federal courtrooms how witnesses protect the indefensible, how they hide behind prepared language, someone who can distinguish whether a witness truly doesn't know something or is unwilling to say what they know. He watched Bondi for 2 hours, noting every dodge, every pivot, every counterattack that came instead of an answer. He saw the pattern and knew where it was leading. He was waiting, and now it was time. Whitehouse opened the manila folder, but he didn't look at it. She looked at Bondi. First, she asked about suspicious activity reports related to accounts tied to Epstein and Trump. He made a technical entry. Bondi dismissed it, implying that Whitehouse had a financial connection with one of Epstein's closest circles. The room tensed. Journalists raised their heads, and a few members leaned forward. But that wasn't the question. For Whitehouse, this was just the warm-up. "Let me ask you something else," he said, in a controlled, measured voice, as if he already knew the answer. According to reports in the public domain, Jeffrey Epstein showed people photos of President Trump with semi-naked young women. Did the FBI find those photos in Epstein's safe, or in his properties, or anywhere else? Have you seen anything like that? The hall fell silent. At this point, the situation took a different turn. This was not a theoretical question. It wasn't a conspiracy. It was not speculative. Whitehouse was directly asking the Attorney General, who had access to the FBI and could access all the documents of one of the most comprehensive federal investigations of the decade, about specific evidence material. In the courtroom, there was only one answer to the question: yes or no. Bondi did not say no.
Think about this. If these photos don't exist, the answer is 3 words. There is no such thing. If there is no photographic evidence of Trump in the investigation files, Bondi would say it in one breath and close the question. The press would write this. The hearing would have continued. But Bondi said, "Senator Whitehouse, you sit here and make defamatory statements once again. You try to smear Trump at every opportunity, while you are the one who took money from Epstein's inner circle." It was a personal, instantaneous, and clearly orchestrated attack. Then he brought up Reid Hoffman, a technology billionaire who has publicly stated that he had limited contact with Epstein outside of MIT fundraising events. He presented himself as a donor to the White House. But there is a notable detail here. Whitehouse announced this to the public after the hearing. Reid Hoffman had never donated to any of his campaigns. Not in 2018, not in 2024, never.
The opposition research Bondi used was wrong. Take a moment to pause and think. The Justice Department investigated the donor backgrounds of Democratic senators before a congressional hearing, not to prepare for their own investigations, but to prepare attack ammunition against senators who might ask the wrong questions. What was the wrong question? It was whether the FBI found a photo of the president in the files of a convicted human trafficker. The White House called the preparation weird. It seems like an ordinary word, but its content is heavy. Because institutions that have an innocent answer prepare that answer. It does not prepare offensive ammunition.
White House asked for the second time. Not aggressive, calm. With the calmness of someone who already has the answer. With the steps of someone moving without touching the ground. He still said nothing about the Bondi photos. He didn't deny it. He didn't confirm it. It passed, as if the question was never asked. There are two types of silence in federal courts. The first, the silence of a witness thinking about how to best say something. Delayed, but honest. The second, the silence of the witness, seeking the best way to say nothing. Calculated and deliberate. The silence of someone who is asked a second time and prefers not to deny it falls into one of these two categories. Evaluating this difference is up to those watching the trial. And this changed the course of the trial. Because this question was not isolated. It had a context. And that context was spreading over months. In February 2025, Bondi said on Fox News, "The Epstein client list is currently sitting on my desk for review." Clearly, on the record and on camera. 5 months later, in July 2025, the Justice Department issued an official memorandum. No client list. Investigation closed. Epstein acted alone. From "it's on my desk" to "there's no such thing." But beneath this transition, there was something else that the vast majority did not notice at the time. In the same July 2025, FBI agents were instructed within the same department. Mark the documents in the Epstein files that mention Donald Trump's name. Within a closed-door investigation, a special marking system for a single name. Senator Dick Durbin confronted Bondi with this instruction during the same October 7th hearing. Who gave this order? Bondi's answer was 8 words. "I will not discuss this with you, Senator." Not a denial. Flat refusal. And these 8 words were effectively confirming that the instruction was real. There is no need to deny a non-existent order. You simply deny its existence. Bondi didn't do that. But the real critical point was this. 3 separate moments, 3 different dates, and they all point to the same void. The first moment, October 2024. Author Michael Wolff shared with the public that Epstein showed him a photo of Trump with young women. This claim has not been officially verified, but it is available in public sources. And this was the basis for White House's question. Second moment, September 2025. A month before the hearing, FBI Director Kash Patel faced a similar question in a Senate hearing. Is there photographic material related to Trump in the Epstein files? Patel's answer was, "I'm not aware of that." He didn't say, "There is nothing like that," or "We reviewed every file and found nothing." These words are different, and someone with a legal background would understand the difference. Third moment, October 7th, 2025. White House asked Bondi the same question. There was no denial. An attack came. The wrong opposition survey came. Silence came. America's 2 highest-ranking law enforcement officials. The same question. 2 separate hearings. 2 separate dates. 2 separate oaths. And neither of them could say it in one go. Such a thing does not exist. This is not evidence, but a pattern. And this pattern makes everyone watching the trial ask the same question. If there really is nothing, why are these 3 words so hard? Within hours of the hearing, analysts,
former federal prosecutors and legal commentators appeared on camera. Not to discuss what Whitehouse proved. Nothing is definitively proven in a congressional hearing. Everyone knows that. But Bondi's reaction is important to understand which questions remain unanswered. There are two types of questions that go unanswered. The first is classified. The answer involves national security or legal impediment. The witness explains, "I cannot provide information on this matter because," and everyone understands the situation. The hearing proceeds nonetheless. Secondly, the answer is dangerous, and the defense method for dangerous answers is attack, deflection, changing the subject. Everyone in that room, and everyone watching the clip, understood which category Bondi belonged to without needing words.
Senator Adam Schiff shared with the public every question that Bondi had rejected that day.
The issue of the jet from Qatar, Trump's name appearing multiple times in Epstein's records, the alleged $50,000 house bribe, whether there is sufficient evidence to blame Comey, whether government officials are required to comply with court orders. In a single hearing, in a single day, so many rejections. And on top of that, layers of rejections that have been accumulating for months. The chasm between "it's on my desk" in February and "there's no such thing" in July. The promise of revealing the client list quietly fading away. The refusal to discuss the instruction to mark Trump's name given to FBI agents. The hearing technically continued. Questions about counterterrorism came up. And then that moment, the silence echoing in everyone's mind. The moment when a simple answer didn't come to a completely simple question. Budget allocations, other matters, all of them faded into the background. People might be taking notes, checking their phones, but the cameras and eyes were in that brief yet heavily felt silence. There, the silence that emerged while waiting for a simple answer suddenly made the importance and tension of the event visible. Whitehouse didn't ask that question again. He didn't need to ask. The lack of a response was already the answer. Now look at the whole picture. A writer claimed that Epstein showed him a photo of Trump with young women, publicly available, on the record. The FBI director said, "I am not aware," on the same subject. He did not deny it. The Minister of Justice attacked on the same issue, deflected, and counterattacked with misinformation. He did not deny it. The same ministry issued a directive to mark Trump's name in the same month it published the memo closing the investigation. It declined to discuss it. None of them are definitive conclusions. None of them are verified evidence. But the only thing that is constantly missing from this table is the easiest answer to say. Such a thing doesn't exist. There is no such thing. Whitehouse's question remains unanswered. Patel's "I'm not aware" answer is on record. Bondi's refusal to discuss the Trump name-calling directive is on the record. The existence of an attack prepared with false opposition research is on record. All of these are public, verifiable, in the records. And in a congressional hearing, nothing is really proven. But things are coming to light. Who is protecting what? Which issue is dangerous and why? It took just 22 seconds to ask that question. It is still not clear how long it will take to learn the answer.